Now for a segment that is super literal at times. It's must win. First up, and honestly, this is a shocker that it even made the segment. Chiefs are a 10.5-point favorite in Carolina. They look to bounce back from the Bills' loss, which, according to Mahomes and Andy Reid, is probably good for them. Patrick Mahomes looking to stop throwing in so many interceptions. He now has 11, which is tied for the league lead. Last year he had 9, and that wasn't great. 2019, he only had 1. That was pretty good. Is this a must-win for Patrick Mahomes?
Well, yeah. I mean, because of who they're playing. Now, I am on the record that my prediction for the Chiefs was 14-3. Losing to the Bills, losing
Conference.
a divisional game, and losing, quote, a dumb one. Nothing would be dumber than losing this one. I do have to tell you. But I am actually, I know we focus on Mahomes, and Mahomes needs to play better, all that stuff. That's actually not the side of the ball I care about in this game. I would like to see that the defense hadn't had a bad performance in 30 games. They had 30 consecutive good to excellent performances. And then they played poorly and didn't get off the field at the end of the Bills game. Listen, that's fine. I would like to see them get some get back against Bryce, who's played better since he came back. But yeah, the Chiefs do have to win this game. If they don't, they're no longer in first place in the conference.
There you go.
Because the Bills are on a bye, and they're sitting there at 9-2.
It is a must-win, but it's more than that. It is for Mahomes, must-play Mahomesian football.
But why?
Because this is the worst team in the league. They're giving, or defense at least, they're giving up 31 points a game. And if Mahomes, now D-Hop now has been there a little while. Xavier Worthy's getting he's getting a lot of attention lately. They've been going to, Travis Kelce obviously had broken out of his shell, didn't play, do a lot last week. But you have Isaiah Pacheco going to be back, maybe.
We don't
know. But Kareem Hunt's running the football well, and if you do get Pacheco back, Mahomes needs a Mahomesian game. If it doesn't happen against Carolina, then you're like, is it going to happen this year? And maybe in the playoffs, but I want to see it in the regular season.
He had it against Tampa, right? The 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah,
I want a clean game, no interceptions. I want 3 touchdowns. He doesn't have to get 300. It might get out of hand early, but close, 250 plus, something like that, and send a statement. Mahomes comes out and plays a great game. Guess what the rest of the league's gonna say?
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
No, they're gonna be like, he's
I
back.
don't think so.
No, he's back.
Well, it is a must-win, and in the words of my good buddy to my left, Nick Wright, this is as good as a bye.
Better than a bye.
Better than a bye. Better than a bye. And on bye weeks, what happens? You get healthier. You work on the fundamentals. You reevaluate who you really are. You get back to the basics. This is a game that you just simply can get back to the basics. You mentioned their defense. They can get back to what they do, start scheming up things. We know what they do in the first quarter. Wow, you showed us that. So now you can focus on all those things because this is as good as a bye.
I got to tell you, feels like a 4-point Chiefs win.
I was going to say.
Feels like tied at halftime type of Chiefs game. I got to tell you.
Do we score this?
Yes, we scored
This should be a
I got to tell you.
Brew wins. Brew is correct. It has to be a Lions-esque blowout.
They don't do that.
Well, they should.
Well,
How about that? Winning games.
Yes, you know what? I agree with you. The Chiefs should take a lot of lessons from the Lions.
They should.
Okay.
A 4-point win?
I'm just telling
then
you.
Then it's all of a sudden it's
you can't feel good about 4-point
away.
win over the
49ers
Carolina
Packers.
Panthers.
Sunday at 4 on Fox. This is a literal one, so you guys need to be creative here. If the Niners lose, San Francisco's playoff probability dips to 17. If they win, it's still less than 50, but it's up at 47. So, Brew, is this a must-win?
Is that the stat you were talking about?
Yeah.
That was so damning of Brock Purdy?
Through the curse.
No, it's not a curse. That's a word. That means,
Yeah.
But it is a must-win because perception sometimes is reality. Now, we know if they lose this game, their chances of making the playoffs really, really dip, as you just showed, right? They need to, they have to have the best record in the division because of their division record. And Brock Purdy is not the reason that they are 5-5. Brock Purdy has been fine. He hasn't been perfect.
You know what's also fine?
But Brock Purdy has been very good.
Oh,
All right,
has he been fine or very good? Because I'll agree with you on fine.
You know what? See, I knew this was going to happen. I hope Dusty has it for me. I told them to hold this in the chamber in case, and anytime we talk, we don't have it.
What?
We don't have it. The Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes stats comparison.
Oh.
Where Purdy hasn't beaten everything. All right, so I'm just saying, Purdy,
hasn't been very good.
I still contend that Purdy is a better quarterback now than he was a year ago. But I said, remember when I was saying it, the numbers might not look like it, but I think he is a better quarterback. He's smarter. He's more experienced. He's obviously showing more mobility and running better. But if they don't make the playoffs, a lot of people will put it on Purdy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that'll affect his bag, but it could. So must win.
Wow, Greg.
Please wake me up when it's not a must-win for the 49ers. Yes, it's a must-win.
Drama up in here.
It's a must-win. Every week it's a must-win for this team. Matter of fact, it's a must get healthy. It's a must play better. It's a must finish the game. It's a must-win. 49ers, when are you going to wake up? Everybody else is playing. Everybody else, except for myself, has expected you to be this great team. You haven't been. You got the Packers. Guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to put you out your misery. I already know what's happening and what your destiny is, but clearly you got some chance to fight back. It's a must-win.
So I also last year Brock Purdy played at, according to the voters, an MVP level. His team was the 1 seed. They were in the Super Bowl. This year, he's played at a league average level, and his team is average. Like that, I don't think we have to. So when Bruce said he's been fine, I agreed with him, and I think the Niners have been fine. But that's disappointing for both of them because Purdy was supposed to be this ascending player, and the Niners are supposed to be the overwhelming NFC favorites. So yeah, there is a real pressure on him when nobody thinks they have the talent of a sub-500 team, even with the Ayuk injury, that for them to not fall below 500. So, yeah, it's a must-win for them.
Greg gets the point, though. That was obvious.
This is the snoring?
Yeah, he did a whole thing. He's like, wake up.
Is that what?
Can I go first on one of them?
Yeah.
My God.
You did. The first one.
A good point.
Lamar, also trying to bounce back, told the media that the Ravens need to stop beating themselves. They take on a Chargers team that's rolling. Here's Lamar's numbers last week. Season worst completion percentage, passer rating, and yards per attempt. Greg, is this a must-win for Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, it is a must-win for Lamar Jackson. And the question I feel like Lamar Jackson has to answer is, am I going for my third MVP or am I trying to win the Super Bowl?
There you go.
Because if you're going for 3 MVPs, your third MVP, you're well on your way, buddy. But it hasn't provided Super Bowls. It hasn't provided any hardware. Now, if you decide, you know what, I'm going to actually do what I said in week 1 against the Chiefs and do whatever it takes to win, well, you have the control to be the best player. You are the best player, but you also have the control to say, you know what, in times what would make me better as a player is getting the ball to my running back that we just acquired. So, yeah. It's a must-win for Lamar because what is winning is looking in the mirror and telling yourself, you know what, I got to be a little different. I'm going to be great regardless, but in order for us to get over the hump, I got to do something a little different.
You're kind of with me. I'm going to take it to another level, get deeper with it, all right? What you said was good. It's not a must-win for Lamar because it's only a must-win for Lamar if he wants this third MVP, which I'm sure you'll want it, of course. But that's not what he's focused on. Because if he doesn't have a big game, they lose. He's 7-5. It's going to be tough. I mean, unless they won out. Yeah. Well, 12-5 might get it, but it'll be tough. His hopes for the
12-5 having won 5 straight, they're back in it. Yeah, but they're
that they will win out. Right. So for his MVP hopes, it would drop. But to me, it's a must-win for the Ravens, not Lamar. It's another good team you're playing. 7-5, I mean, we know the AFC is open as far as that wild card. But still, this rest of the schedule is still strong. And so you're coming off a tough loss where you didn't look good. The defense played well, so let's capitalize on that. It's not a great offensive team you're playing. They don't put up a lot of points. And so that it's a must-win for the Chargers, not for Lamar.
You mean for the Ravens?
For the Ravens.
So I don't think it's a must-win
for the Ravens.
For either one of them. Because, like, now this could determine who's the 5 and who's the 6. Because these are the two teams that are fighting for that. If we don't think the Chargers are catching the Chiefs and the Ravens aren't catching Pittsburgh, now maybe they will. But I don't really. We don't know if the 5 is better than the 6 until we, you know what I mean? Until we see how that shakes out on who you're playing. I'll just give a prediction. So I don't think it's a must-win at all. I don't think you can really run that well on the Chargers.
Correct.
And I think the Ravens are going to play well and win. And I think Lamar is going to have one of those MVP performances, and it's going to be in a game where Derrick Henry doesn't get the ball a ton, but Lamar's awesome, and everyone on Tuesday is going to be like, there you go. That's the Ravens we love. Because every time that Lamar gets the ball a ton and they win, nobody has a problem with it. It's only the games where Lamar gets the ball a ton and they don't win that they're like, why didn't they hand the ball to Derrick Henry? I don't think they're going to be able to run all over Jim Harbaugh's defensive front. And I think Lamar will have a bounce-back game and play really well. This is the type of game Lamar crushes.
No points there. I was looking for a little talk about the Harbaugh brothers going after it.
Then why didn't you make it must-win for Harbaugh?
Because I tried it. I can't, you lead a horse to water.
Okay.
Also, Herbert has a chance to win MVP here.
Not really.
Yes, he does.
Not really.
He's 5th right now.
What if he beats Lamar Jackson? Bingo.
Vikings at Bears.
Caleb hasn't thrown an interception in 4 games. That's good. Bad news. Hasn't thrown a touchdown in 4 games. Let's look at his numbers during this 4-game losing streak. Not great, although last week was a step in the right direction. Nick, you can go first here. This is the money ball.
Oh, okay. This is our last one?
Maybe.
Listen, so I think the Bears, the 2 last play of the game losses, wrecked any even somewhat playoff hopes. So I feel similarly about this week as I did last week. It is less important the result of the game and more important the performance of Caleb. Like, if you're a Bears fan, the playoff hopes are done. And so would you prefer, I know last week was oddly somewhat low scoring, but Caleb had 300 total yards, played, I thought, the best game he had played in a month. And what you care about is Caleb continuing on that trajectory.
True.
And so if you lose 28-24 but Caleb plays great, I think Bears fans will feel better than if they win 10-7. And you know what I mean? And it's like Titans game in week 1 where the defense scores and Caleb does nothing. So I think the Bears are sadly in a different portion of their season now because at 4-6, their playoff hopes are dead in that conference.
Is it too much to ask for both? Caleb plays well. I mean, he's the number 1 pick. He's
the Vikings
Mr.
are
Dynamite.
8-2. The Vikings
they got Sam Darnold at quarterback. You talk about a civilian? That's a civilian.
I agree, but they also have a defensive scheme that your guy Brock Purdy said was crazy.
Some teams have started to score on that scheme lately, and I'm just saying he's lost 4 straight games, Caleb, so this is a must-win. 4 straight losses. I get it that it's all about him learning and improving, but you want to start tasting victory, especially when other rookies. Jaden Daniels has his team in the playoffs. He beat you. Bo Nix almost beat the Chiefs. And last year they thumped the Atlanta Falcons, who are looking like a pretty decent team. I mean, a playoff team in the NFC. So can you show us, Caleb, that you can beat a good team?
Can I?
Because here's the teams he's beaten. Oh. Jacksonville, 2 wins. Carolina, 3 wins. Tennessee, 2 wins. The Rams without Puka Nacua and Cooper Rush. And we know that Matt Stafford turns the goo without those guys.
Can I say something real quick about just the difference in expectations? Bo Nix and Caleb Williams played games against teams that one of us has in the Super Bowl. Both lost because the other team blocked a field goal. And Brew, when talking about the Bo Nix, said they almost won. And the Caleb one, it's just the latest game in the losing streak.
Yeah,
That's
but
the difference of
Packers-
expectations.
No, the Packers aren't the Chiefs. As much as I think they can get to the Super Bowl, they're not the
Right,
Chiefs.
but no,
Let's
but
not
they're
act
a
like
real.
the
They're
same.
your divisional rival, a really good team. Caleb lost 20-19 on a blocked field goal. Bo Nix lost 16-14 on a blocked field goal. That is a plus column
Knicks
for Bo.
threw 2 touchdowns in that game. How many Caleb throw against the Packers?
They ran it in from the one.
Okay,
Like
guys, it's not a Bo Nix, Caleb. It's the Caleb in must win for Caleb. It's not a must win for Caleb. It's actually, I agree with you. It's a must perform well for Caleb. And here's a couple reasons why. Because you're going to have a new coach. You're going to have a new play caller, potentially. Like, you want to show whoever's coming in that you have the goods. You not only want to sell it to the fans and your teammates and who's in the locker room, but you want to have a coach that's coming in excited about what they're going to be embracing. And when you look at your schedule, you got 5 division games left.
Oh, yeah.
You might have the toughest remaining schedule in the National Football League. Caleb, are you the 4th best quarterback in your division? And I'm saying that present day right now because Sam Darnold, regardless of how we all feel about him, he's played better than you this year to this point. Jared Goff, we know he's better than you right now. And when you look in Green Bay,
J-Lo, of course.
Jordan Love, he's better than you right now. So who are you and who will you become? You got to play better.
than all of them.
It's to be seen.
No, I think
It's to be
said,
seen.
who will he become? I think he'll become better than all of them.
He has the potential.
Yeah, I think he will.
We shall see. Thank you, Wildes.
Drew wins it in a runaway, really. I mean, it's like he got the money
Greg,
ball.
he thought
had the lead.
yelling. He thought yelling. He said the
Can't
same
agree
exact
with
thing
anybody.
Nick said.
No, I actually,
Just
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.